Hey guys, welcome to another episode in our video series, Writers MD, where we answer the top questions asked and the top questions that should be asked by doctoral students who want to write quality dissertations in 6 months or less. In this video, I will be discussing how to write a strong research proposal. A dissertation proposal is the first big step towards completing your dissertation. It is often seen as an essential step that occurs early in the dissertation process, and it can be thought of as basically your research plan. It's chapters 1 through 3. In this part of the process, you will discuss what you want to do. And so to do this effectively, you will discuss not only what you want to do, but how you plan to carry out the research and why you think it is important that this research be completed. As this is your first step in the dissertation process, you may be wondering exactly how to go about writing your research proposal, what structure to use, how to present it, and how to know what dissertation committees are actually looking for. These are all common concerns that students embarking upon a dissertation will have, and they are the concerns that we will address here in this video today. The length of your proposal is likely to be dictated by your academic institution, and you should always follow the guidelines of the templates regarding the format and the length that your supervisor outlines for you. Also know that they're there for you, so if you have any questions about this, be sure to talk to them about it first before you move forward. But what we do know is that on average, your chapters 1 and 3 are about 12 to 15 pages, and your literature review is about 35 pages. So let's talk about the key aspects of your document, and one of them as part of your proposal is your proposal statement, where you talk about your main focus and you outline for the reader what your aims and objectives are and the course of action you plan to take for your research proposal. Therefore, in the proposal, you should introduce this main topic that you want to focus and state what you hope to achieve in your dissertation project. You also should support your problem and purpose statements with validated research concerning your research topic. Here, you will also discuss the methodology that you propose to use for your research and outline any limitations or ethical difficulties that you foresee in this. What this means is that your proposal is likely to have the following sections: the introduction, the topic, aims and objectives, your literature review, your research methodology, including limitations and ethical considerations, and a conclusion. During this process, do expect a substantial amount of feedback. Take the feedback that they give you and make changes to the proposal as necessary for your approval. So let's get down to it. How do you write a quality dissertation proposal? Well, actually, before you do any writing, you have to start by reading. You need to do as much reading as you can in the area of study, and as you do, you need to start thinking about the topic you want to base your dissertation around. It's a simple task, but the amount of research within the subject being so broad, it can be a little daunting. For advice on how to choose a dissertation topic, you may want to check out my podcast, Dissertation in 90 Days. There is an episode where I talk about this again. That's Dissertation in 90 Days. Once you have chosen a topic area that is motivating for you, you will need to narrow down the focus and identify the most relevant literature that exists linked to your topic. To narrow down the topic area, you need to generate some research questions. These should come about from the reading that you are doing, and many students who have gone through the dissertation process believe that the more reading you do, the easier it is to generate well-focused research questions. This part is all about you engaging critically with the literature. You need to try to identify outdated sources, concerns of bias, methodological errors, or ethical concerns. If you are able to identify any of these in the research you are engaging with, and you specify the issues you discovered in your proposal, you're going to get higher marks from your chair and or your committee. Also, in your literature review, you need to make your case or present the argument for why your research is important. Use what you found out when reading through the literature. For example, if you discover that all of the research linked to your focus area was conducted pre-2000, for example, explain this and express why it is important to conduct up-to-date studies on this particular topic. Or if you found that most of the research was conducted with methodological errors in the collection or analysis of the data, explain this and suggest how you plan to do things differently in your dissertation. Just note, you don't need to make reference to all of the literature you have reviewed here, just the literature that is relevant to the points you are presenting. Once you have completed the literature review and refined your research questions, you need to start actually writing the proposal. The first paragraph will be the introduction. Here you should introduce the topic area you have chosen, provide your hypothesis, and explain the importance of further research in this particular area. In the next paragraph, you will delve deeper into the methodology you plan to use to achieve what you are setting out to do. For this, you should clearly identify the methods through which you plan to collect and process data. For example, if you are planning on using quantitative data, such as a survey to collect data, or are you planning to collect qualitative data through discussions with research participants to build a set of case studies? And how many participants do you plan to have involved in the research process? 10, hundreds, thousands? Be sure to explain why you are collecting this form of data and how this method is the most appropriate method to use in your research focus area. Following on from this, you should clearly outline the aims and objectives of your dissertation project. You should identify and describe the main issue or issues that you are planning to explore and what you hope to achieve by doing this. Here you may wish to include some of the key questions that exist around your focus area that you hope to answer, and give any predictions you have about the study. In the limitations section that follows, you will need to carefully consider and explain all of the limitations that could impact your dissertation research. These can be simple limitations such as word count, or more complex limitations that may prevent you from exploring the topic as broadly as you wish to, or that prevent you from collecting the most data that you would need. It is important that you think carefully in this section, as effectively recognizing the limitations demonstrates that you really understand your subject and focus area. Next up is ethical considerations. Here you must think about whether you have the permissions to conduct the research you wish to conduct, or whether there are deeper ethical concerns in relation to your focus area. A part of this section could link to the confidentiality of the data you are collecting. If you identify an ethical consideration, you must be sensitive to these throughout your study. This is certainly a section of the proposal that it would be worth talking to your committee chair about in more detail. Finally, of course, you need to write a conclusion. While there is no set guidance or expectation for the conclusion, it is just good writing practice to do so. I recommend that you recap your key reasons for choosing the research focus area, your chosen research methods, and the outcomes you expect to achieve in your project to round off this particular section. If you enjoyed this information and would like to receive 20 free videos of the answers to the top problems that doctoral students usually face while writing a dissertation, along with a free copy of the webinar where I have given important tips and strategies that could help you write your dissertation in as little as 6 months, please visit www.writerser.com/free, and I also have provided that in the description below.